Well, hello. Welcome to the town hall for Concrete CMS in September 2024. I'm Franz. This is Andy.
Hey, everybody.
There he is. And we're here checking in with news from the community and things that are going on with Concrete CMS. Going to be a pretty quick one this month, I believe. A bunch of different projects going on here, so we're pretty spread thin. So a tremendous amount of news to talk about, but we are doing a monthly release later today of at least the version 9 branch. I don't know if version 8 is coming out. You want to talk about that at all, Andy?
Yeah, we're going to be releasing 934 and 8519 later today. And yeah, there are a couple extremely minor security updates in both of those branches and or in both of those releases. And also, 934 will probably have a couple bug fixes as well. Nothing major in either of them. Definitely maintenance style releases. But yeah, when you have a second later on today, definitely check those out.
Awesome. Thanks for doing that, Andy. I know it's important to everybody who uses concrete for us to be on a stable and consistent release structure. So small things come frequently as opposed to big things coming occasionally. So keeping that up.
Yeah.
Moving right along. Concrete is open source, so this is the product of a great many volunteers. Awful lot of people contributing energy, code, testing, even documentation to creating a platform that everybody can use to build a web for the greatest good. So we're always very appreciative that folks besides ourselves are working on this, and take a quick moment to shout out some of the names that we've seen active in the community over the last couple of weeks. Andy, do you want to hit those?
Absolutely. In I've got a number of people who have thankfully submitted new issues to the core, and those people include Hishi, Studio 108, Niam KH, BH Wills, Sixtomatic, Naka Zawazakan, A Jenkins Dev, Bart Zuderlich, Ashish A Now, WTFLM, and M Hawk. And thank you to all the people who have contributed to documentation and to helping people in the forums. And that this month includes Simon Chilton. So thank you
Awesome.
to the concrete community. I suspect we'll have more code submissions and things like that to share next month when we're not heads down in alternate projects.
Nice. Excellent. All right. Well, without further ado, let's check in with the peer review board to see what extensions have been added to the marketplace since we last heard. Let's see, Jess. Oh, I'll add this to the stage.
Hello, I'm John the Fish, and welcome to this month's Marketplace News. Our first add-on is Rating and Reviews from Google, developed by Ryan Hewitt, also known as Masuva. This add-on provides a block where you enter a Google Place ID, and the block then displays reviews for that place. There are several block templates, including the simple listing you can see here and the slider you can see in the lower part of the screen. Rating and Reviews is $15 in the marketplace. Now we have the Blue Lagoon theme developed by Mike at Portland Labs. Blue Lagoon includes all the usual page templates and templates for all the core blocks. The sample content for the Pamper Pooch demonstrates all of these blocks and templates quite nicely. It's a refreshingly different kind of theme, quirky in its design, and I just loved reading the sample content for this. Blue Lagoon is $35 in the marketplace. Well, that's all from me, so over to Noor for the rest of this month's news.
Thank you, John, and hello, Concrete CMS community and friends. Our last package comes straight from the Dragon's Den, the technical minds behind Concrete CMS, Portland Labs. Portland Labs Microsoft Entra ID SSO will add a new authentication type to your website. You will then have a single sign-on system leveraging Azure and Entra ID. Your platform will be connected to Microsoft suite of business tools. You'll have real-time calendar sync with Microsoft Calendar and more. Of course, security is a given, and all exchanges between platforms are encrypted and benefit from enterprise-grade security. This Portland Labs package is Concrete 9 version only, of course, and is $395 in the marketplace. Well, that's all for us today. Thank you, be safe, and until next time, take care.
Well, there we go.
Nice.
Good looking. Nice job, Mike. Nice job, Corbin, for getting those into the marketplace. Things that we have had for a while in one of our many, many closets of code. So, as said earlier in the year, after relaunching the marketplace, tried to find some time here to put some of our own stuff back in there. And yeah, nice to see that coming together. All right. Let's see. Next up, we're talking about the business of building websites and digital applications in our Behind the Blocks segment. And today I want to briefly talk about proof of concept versus alpha and kind of what that means. Because I think for us over the years, we've learned that these words for phases of a project are kind of easy to throw around, and often you can get yourself in trouble. Like, they actually mean different things. And if you're being really honest about self-improvement, like, it's worth your while to kind of think about how you think when those words come up. So we are working on a proof of concept for a client now, really focused around a trade show that we're going to sell this idea, this larger idea that we've talked with them about. And selling ideas is really about making an emotional connection. It's not about showing a bunch of features. And what we know is if we don't get kind of buy-in from the right people at this trade show, we're probably not going to have that much commitment for the project. So as an engineer, there is a tendency to say, well, we've got approval for kind of phase one. Either one of these is phase one. And so there's a real easy temptation to think, well, look, what is the perfect framework, and let's build some tools for building tools, and let's make sure that we're laying a good foundation. And on a lot of projects, that might be the right way to do it. Like, if we were kind of approaching an alpha, like this is the first version of this platform, that's how we would start. We would kind of start probably from the back end. Like, here's the data model, here's some interface to manage data on the back end. We'll worry about the front end later because that's going to move around because it's more time. And really do a lot of back and forth to make sure that we have that architecture the way we want it, because we know we're building on top of that. For proof of concept, that's not that important. Like, we know that after this trade show, whatever we build is being turned off, and it will be lessons learned. I mean, if there's some tech out of that we get to reuse, that's cool, but we have to be really honest with ourselves that, like, we are not just going to spank a new logo in the corner and call it alpha and launch it. It is very much a proof of concept. So I don't think I would use the word throwaway, because we don't want to build things that aren't usable and stable and well made. But it is a different energy. You have to kind of come at it from what is going to be compelling to the business case, and how can I show that as quickly as I can, recognizing I'm not going to have a chance to explain it. And so, some of what is different for us that way is we're actually starting from the front end as opposed to the back end. So we've got a basic data model, we can import data, but like, we're not starting in the dashboard building admin interfaces first. We're starting with, this is what we want the experience to be like at the trade show, and let's build back from that. And that kind of helps us focus on getting something done on a short timeline, because proof of concept usually is a pretty short timeline. And that helps us build the interfaces that we actually need on the back end. There's some very specific things we know we're going to need to do while this app is running, and kind of a traditional concrete CRUD interface may not be the best way to do that. So when we get to the back end, we'll probably build a very much one-off, purpose-driven, these are the tools you need for the trade show kind of UX. And if we end up using that for something else later, we do, but probably we won't. And it's just interesting, I guess. We are an entirely remote company, so there's a lot of reading and writing at Portland Labs, and it's fascinating even with a group of people who've been working together for a few decades, how you can put together some comps, you can put together some architecture documents, you can put together, some briefs around why we're doing this, what we're doing this, and then you bring people together for a call, and everybody has a slightly different idea as to what we're actually doing and what success looks like. And you really do need to just kind of keep that focused. And if you're doing a proof of concept, it's, hey, let's remind ourselves that success looks like having an awesome trade show. End of story. Even if we throw out all this code at the end of that and people are like, that was such a cool product, we win. Whereas if we were building an alpha, success would very much look like, it could be we don't have much to show at all, but we've got a great framework and we know we can add stuff to it. And as an engineer, we're pleased with ourselves. So really interesting way to kind of think about project management and why are you doing what you're doing and how to focus the energy of a team. And there you go. That's behind the blocks for today. I'll move into the last segment of our town hall. If you have any questions, now would be a good time to ask them. Otherwise, we're going to do a quick show and tell and get back to work. Here we go. Jess is sharing the new Lennox school district. So, excuse me, these folks have used Concrete for quite some time, although I believe this is a freshly built site. And they've got some fun school videos happening on the homepage. They've got destinations for every school within their district. So one of the things that Concrete does very well is it ships with a very powerful permissions model. So if you've got administrators from, what is that, somewhere between 12 and 20 different schools that all want to manage their own homepages and subpages, and maybe there's some workflow where people in the district can push content out or have pages within there that they work on while the school manages their own pages. Concrete lets you do all of that right out of the box. You don't need to rely on different extensions from the marketplace that may or may not stay updated. It's got a lot of tools for a group of people working on a bunch of a complex web presence, I would say, right? This looks different than the last page we were on, but it still feels part of the same. So yeah, pretty cool implementation. And you can use multi-site built into the core. So they could point different domains at these sites and kind of have these behave as home pages, all while running a single Concrete install. So when you do need to upgrade, you can just hit upgrade once. So yeah, we've seen a lot of governments, educations, larger institutions find a lot of value in Concrete, particularly as an open source platform, because often types of content management systems that have the tools for a large group of people to safely collaborate around content approval and that type of thing often have annual price tags in the 5- and 6-figure range. And as you guys know, Concrete does not. So this is a great solution for governments and folks like that need some of these tools, but perhaps don't want to pay the bills that come with the larger commercial enterprise CMS type platforms. There we go. So that is the new Lennox School District. Very cool. Yeah, see that up. And that is all the news that is fit to print from the Concrete team today. We will be back in early October, and yeah, I think we look forward to seeing you guys all then. So thanks so much.
Thanks, everybody.